top five New Year's resolutions. So it's New Year's coming up this week, New Year's Eve on Wednesday, New Year's Day Thursday, and there's always New Year's resolutions. A lot of us make it, and I pulled up top five. And we'll just sort of discuss it a little bit, a few facts I have about it. The first one, I think it's a typical one that everybody does, exercise more. So 25% of Americans say this as a New Year's resolution. And then around 43% of those that have it as a resolution drop off by the 31st. So they barely last a month. 43% don't make it past a month. And then less than 10% last 3 months or more. So it shows it's a tough one. I'll raise my hand. I am one that at times has done this and I struggle to do it. I don't, I think it's more of a will thing or I don't know if it's a will. It's just like a commitment, I think I put too much on top of it in an unrealistic goal for myself that I feel that eventually I can't achieve it. I'm just like, I'm done with this. Move on and forget about it.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's the unrealistic expectations. And yeah, I'm just like you. Like, you get to a point where it's like, oh, dude, I'm not gonna get there, and then not realize either, a small success that you've had with it,
Mhm.
and just kind of keep aiming for that end goal, versus like taking it month by month.
Mhm.
But it's tough to keep with. Like, it's so easy to give up on.
Yeah, it's a hard one, and I think depending on your lifestyle and family life too, because like I said, for me now, even with a kid, work life, like the few hours I get when I get home before he goes to bed, I want to hang out with him. Yeah, I could go work out,
Hmm.
leave him in a playpen, do his stuff, but I want to hang out with him. And then it's once he goes to sleep, you got stuff to do around the house. You got to clean, you're eating, doing work stuff. So, I always have work to do after work, and then it's getting close to midnight and it's like one of the things with, just being healthy is getting good sleep. So it's like I got to try to go to bed at a decent time, not 2,
Hmm.
3 a.m. and waking up at 6. So it just gets tough, I think, but it's something I will say I am committed to trying to do a little bit more this year. It's just exercise a little bit more, but I'm not going to have a high expectation of doing it X amount of time. It's just doing little by little, month by month.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Yeah, it's I'm like you, with the kiddos, it's like spend time with them. Then at that point it's like wind down by, especially with this podcast, it's focusing on the podcast, putting a lot of time into it in the after
Hmm.
hours becomes, just that role at nighttime, and then, talking with a spouse, our wives, and, just kind of
Hmm.
rolling with the day like that. And then at that point it's like, dude, it's tired. So it's like exercise would be like a weekend thing. And then throughout the week, it's probably just focusing on eating better, dude.
Yeah.
Like I like just I'm a big fan of Ben and Jerry's. If it's chilling in there, like
You
it
got
doesn't
it.
last long. I
Yeah.
open up that freezer door and it's just like,
Yeah.
it's there. And it's so easy for me just to polish off like a lot
Yeah.
of it. Too much. It's
Yeah.
too easy.
And we'll go into that New Year's resolution. That's another one that people have a lot. Eating healthier was number three on the list.
Mm.
And I think the goal with this, I think if you have it the right way, it could work because some people do it because they want to look better. They think eating better is going to make them look better. But I think the way you have to sort of focus on it is eating better is going to make you feel better. Because I've noticed
Hmm.
because I'm one that's sort of up a roller coaster of eating that I could do well for like 2 months, not eat out, eat healthy, just do a little bit better, also working out. And honestly, when I do that, I feel a lot better. I feel like I could do a lot more stuff. I still look the blob the way I do, but I feel better. And I think that's the goal
Hmm.
with eating healthier. It's just about feeling better, not really looking at the long term. Oh, am I getting a six pack? Oh, I'm getting a definition. It's like, yeah, it could be some of that, but it should be more about just feeling better in your body, being able to do things.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I mean, same for me, man. Like, I wouldn't call it like binge eating, but it's like I get into these patterns where it's like, there's some weeks where I'm like, yeah, I'm stopped eating at 7 today. I can
Hmm.
last throughout the rest of the day and just drink water and call it a day. But like other times it's like, damn, I'm hungry. It's like 11:30. It's like,
Yeah.
do I want to make a Taco Bell run or which I usually don't. And then I just like I'll scavenge the pantry and like if there's like a hidden camera in there, it would just be me like just looking like, around like just an evil villain to all food.
That was me 2 days ago. It's like I had regular food in the fridge like that we made, but I'm like, I need something sweet. I'm like, I need that sugar, I need that kick, and I looked everywhere, and I think I had like a piece of chocolate or something, but I was like, okay, this craved it a bit, but it's like, I think that's what eating healthier does. It's gonna make you feel better, and then also sort of avoid those sugar rushes. Because I think
Mhm.
one of the big things with eating better that I read, and also just that I've learned about, as I'm working on my journey a bit more, is that it's not just about, it's going to help with chronic disease and mental health. Like I say, healthy wise, when
Mhm.
as you get older, you need to be just a lot more healthier because these diseases creep up a lot more. Your body's not 18 anymore that you could fight everything so quickly. So it's a big thing. And then the other fact I sort of saw with this is by February, half the people that have this goal drop it. So they only last about 2 months, if that, with eating better. And it is a hard one. I think this one's almost like the exercise more. It's like you have to set small goals and also have realistic goals. You could try to do a keto type diet, but keto diets are hard. Doing a pescatarian diet, it's really hard. And it's also, I think, where you work. Like I work and I sometimes am out in the field all day, so it's sort of like
Mhm.
all I could really eat is fast food. And it's like, okay, how do I sort of change that in my mindset? And sort of finding those small goals to help with the long term goal.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a great point of like, like I've even considered and oftentimes it is that way where it's like, 'especially with y young kids, you don't want like that a obscene amount of sugar in the household because, they'll constantly want it,
Hmm.
as do I. And if it's not there, then it's like a problem you can't necessarily have because,
Hmm.
you're looking for it, but it's not going to be there, and then it just makes you walk away
Yeah.
in frustration for a bit. Eh, yeah, get a
But you
little
get over
angry.
it. Get over it a bit.
Damn it, son of a. And then yeah, like at times I'll be like, at Costco, like you get way too much of everything.
Ah,
There's like these little coconut chocolate, dark chocolate things that we bought
uh-huh.
like a couple months ago, and they just kind of linger around in a basket. And if I like really need that sugar,
You
I'll
go
be
for
like,
it.
I think they're still good. And then I'll just eat one and I'll be like, kind of cured it. Take a bite and
Yeah.
I'll be like, it's dark chocolate, milk chocolate's better. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's good
Yeah.
enough.
You're like, I'm okay. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
eating healthier is
sad.
one of those resolutions.
It's
That's our
relatable
fatty self.
content right now.
It is for us with all
Yeah.
the food talk we had today.
Yep.
Next one, this is the number two one, being happy. So I think a lot of people are being happy is something they try to do a bit more. There's a lot of anxiety, burnout, and just emotional
Hmm.
fatigue that are key drivers to happiness. And I think it's a resolution that I think you have to do a lot. And I think the one thing with happiness, because I will say I think I have been very happy. I don't think I have many bad days. Um,
Good.
but what I also focus on is I don't try to focus on long-term happiness. Try to focus on just what I could control in that moment and just being happy during that week. I'm not going to think about
Mhm.
like, oh, to be happy, I need to do XYZ in like 3 months. Yeah, I want to reach those goals, but if I say that's the only way I'm going to be happy, I'm not going to be happy because most likely those goals are too hard to achieve. So it's sort of for me, it's focusing daily. It's just being happy, being in the moment, being in now, because we're not promised tomorrow. Anything could happen. We might not have that much time, so enjoy what we have now.
Absolutely. No, that's the perfect way to put it, John. Is yeah, focusing on the day to day versus, the big picture, when it comes to things like happiness, because, cherish, if you have little ones, cherish the age that they are right now, because you're never going to see it again.
Hmm.
And those moments are precious. Every little moment that you can have, um, it can make all the difference in not just their lives, but your own.
Hmm.
And, just that focus altogether is a great way to put it. And then you have the less stress of thinking and planning about something so much in the future that you
Hmm.
can just focus on what's nearsighted. And,
Yeah.
and in one quick point to that is, I somewhere throughout this podcast, I wanted to let, just one thought come to mind is Anthony Joshua with what happened in that car accident
Hmm.
today. My prayers are with him.
Hmm.
It's a terrible accident, and, he lost two close friends. And, it can happen just like that. So,
Hmm.
I hope he's okay, and I hope he recovers quickly. And most of all, thoughts are with him and his family and friends.
Hmm.
It's crazy. It makes you think
Yeah.
about stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
living every moment, and getting the most of it's important.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I always try to go to bed being happy, not try to go with negative because, like I say, something happens, you go to bed negative and you can't make it up later. It just sucks. So, being
There you
happy
go.
is number two. Number four, save more money. I think that's a big key. Even that's not
Mm, yep.
a New Year's resolution. I think a big driver of this is always cost of living, especially if you're in California, some of these expensive states. It's high. Inflation's a big one. And then just debt. A
Hmm.
lot of us get into debt. A lot of us are blind trying to live life. And not having money saved decreases happiness because you're always stressed about money. So it sort of puts into that factor of being happy. It's like you got to sort of save some money because the debt sort of and thinking too much about money makes you unhappy.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you know somebody that might have more success financially than yourself, comparison can be the thief of joy, because maybe they're
Mhm.
lacking in a different area that you have, a better, idea on things, or more happier with something, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Just live your own life. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
also, financial financial, I guess, security is, a big deal, especially now, like, especially after the
Yeah.
holidays, man.
Yeah.
Like, spend, spend, spend.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
tough.
yeah.
Yeah, but, it's worth it. But now's the time to kind of
Mhm.
refocus and recenter
Mhm.
on all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some notes that I found, nearly half of the adults say that they would struggle to cover 400 to 500 in emergency money without
Hmm.
borrowing that money or stressing about it. So that's already, a tough one because 400 to 500 should be an easy thing, but most people can't do that in an emergency. And then, some of the
Yeah.
reasons it fails is that people have unrealistic goals, no plan, or emotional spending. I will say for me, it's probably I always have a plan. My goals are realistic. I don't think I'm going to save $1 million anytime soon. I wish I could. If I could, that'd be amazing. But I think it's the emotional
Hmm.
spending, and it's just sort of sometimes, it's we enjoy it because, like I say, for me, it's sort of that living happy piece that sort of messes it up. It's like, I'm gonna enjoy it at times when there is something fun to do with a kiddo, or it's like, yeah, it's a little tough, but it's an experience and it's gonna bring that happiness to us. So we've done it.
Hmm. It's always good to have those rainy day funds.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is. Yeah, and then
Especially
one
with
of the,
kiddos.
yeah,
Chuck E. Cheese
especially
money.
Chuck E. Cheese money. It is. Well, now it's like sky high type stuff, going to the jumping places. That's more the
Oh,
thing.
yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. The kiddos are really into trampolines as well.
Hmm.
Yep. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
so yeah. And then the last one, people say reading more. That one, a lot of
Mm.
people focus on. People say it helps with screen fatigue. I hope our listeners don't read more because I want you to watch us more. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Hmm.
No, if you want to read, go
Yeah.
for
Get
it.
our audio version.
Yeah. But, you know, people aren't reading more because they don't have the time or, you know, people are saying that they don't read because they don't have the time, but what they should be focusing on is sort of reading for that inner peace because like I said, these books are stories that movies, a majority of movies that are made are based off books. So you could read it, have that imagination in your head, and then sort of judge it. Because I think Vera is really good at reading. And what she's done well is she reads books before they come out in theaters, and then she sort of compares the book to the theater. There's always some goods, always some bads, and I think it helps.
Hmm. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just one that really likes noise in the background. Like if I'm doing
Yeah.
something, I'll listen to a podcast, I'll throw on The Office in the background
Yeah.
and, or a new show, whatever, and it's good to have. But I will say there is a sense of serenity when you get locked into a book and you just kind of like lose train of thought of like where you're at and you're just solely focused on that. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Haven't had one of those moments in years. But yeah, no, it's good. And I constantly tell myself I should read more.
Yeah, yeah. Same with me, and I think that was always the goal. That was tough for me because, and I read this online, so it's not a fact that I'm giving you guys from the top of my head, but I always set up like a goal of like I need to read X amount of books, and what they say it's like really not focused on how many books you're going to read, but just how much more reading you're going to do daily and weekly. So it's like, okay,
Mm,
daily I'm going to read 5 pages. Focus on that first and then move up a little bit, Start increasing it monthly, Okay, now it's 10 pages per day. Instead of like, oh, I need to finish 2 books every month, which, depending on the book, some of these books are big, and you have to enjoy the reading because if not, it's going to feel like you're in schoolwork. You're going to feel like you're back in school reading for a test, and that's not going to make reading enjoyable.
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Find a way to read for pleasure more than
Mhm.
versus something that yeah, I starting with something that really interests you versus like getting a book that you feel like you'd have to do a book report on. That'd
Yeah.
be brutal.
It would be at
Wouldn't
this
enjoy
age
that.
when we're not in school
Yeah.
anymore. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, but those were like 5 of the top New Year's resolutions that I found online. Like I say, I most likely will have all 5 of these for myself as well this year, again, because I
Hmm.
have them every year. Like I say, I think the one I've been the most successful with is being happy, uh, and at times saving money. I think I start well and bad. Uh, but I
Hmm.
think I just need to find a way to continue that throughout the year. Eating healthier, same thing. Just gotta find that little habit to help me get through it. Exercising more. I'm gonna focus on small things. I don't know if you've seen it. We're really in, but we both watch Barstool, but that Frank the Tank thing, it's really been inspiring me
Oh yeah.
recently. Where all he was doing is
Mhm.
just walking daily, and eating a little
Yep.
healthier. And that fool's lost so much weight, which I think is great for him because health wise, he's could live so much more longer because of it. But I'm like, it's just something
Yep.
as simple as that, as dedicating myself just to walk a certain amount of steps per day or a certain amount of miles per day, just to get out there in the fresh air and also just to get my heart up and running and not letting it get dormant and killing me possibly, staying active.
Mhm. No, absolutely. I agree. I went to the doctor not too long ago and my blood pressure was a little high. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of typical for me, but it's something that, as I'm in my 30s now, it's like I shouldn't really rub it off the way that I used to in my 20s, for example.
Yeah.
But a big part of that is going back to things like eating well
Hmm.
and the right things, and that can help reduce stuff like that. So, it's something to focus on, and
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's important. Got to focus on it.
Yeah. It's
I try
important
to
to
stay
hope.
active though.
Yeah.
I let the kids jump on me and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's good.
It is. But yeah, but we'll have resolutions. Hopefully everybody has some resolutions. Make those goals. Don't give up. You guys got this. We all got this. We have the
Mhm.
will in us. It's just, need that support system. You guys need that support help. Reach out to us. We're here to support everybody. We enjoy everybody that listens to us and just helping everybody and just overall, that's what banter we like to banter and talk smack, but we also like to support and help. So reach out if you guys have
Absolutely.
questions, how we could help you guys out, help each other out. Let's be a team.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if you guys have any creative hacks that,
Yeah,
have set you
yeah.
guys up for success on these resolutions, let us know because we're all game, we're all ears.
Yes.
Would love to hear it.